So this is the webinar for the Chameleon project open calls 2. These open calls are being organized by 3 partners of the project consortium, which are University of Salamanca, Axeligence, and Unparallel. So the 3 of us will participate in this webinar. My name is Susana Laguela, and I am usually behind the response to your emails, but they are replied by the 3 partners that I mentioned before. Okay, so the reason of this webinar is to clarify some issues that we have been receiving common by many of you, many of the present of the assistants here. Okay, so we hope to explain better the objective of the open calls to give more information about the bundles that are to be validated. Also for you to have a view of what is going to be demanded in the development of the open calls too. Okay, and we will try to clarify all the issues that have arisen. So you have activated the questions and answers section in the Zoom, so you can also send your questions through there, and we can reply to them during the presentations, and then of course at the end of the session. Okay, so thank you so much for your assistance, and I give the floor to Miguel Pacheco from Unparallel, who is going to present the open calls.
Hello everyone, good morning. Can you hear me right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, thank you, Susanna. Good morning. I would like to thank everyone for your participation and for showing your interest in Chameleon open calls. First, I will talk a little bit about the open call, the second open call objectives, and like Susanna mentioned, hopefully make it more clear what we are expecting at this point. And I would like to point out that one of the most important things here is to also clarify your questions. So feel free to ask them whenever you feel they are important, and so feel free to ask because this will be the main goal and the main advantage of having this event today. And also because we are going to disseminate it, and this may answer questions that a lot of people are having. So without further ado, I'll just share my screen. I would just like to make sure I also share my audio. Just a second. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it is. Can you see my PowerPoint in full screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to also to present myself. I'm Miguel Pacheco from Unparallel Innovation. As Susanna mentioned, I'm from the Open Call Management Board. And sorry. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna just give a brief introduction of the Chameleon project, just for the sake of clarification. So the Chameleon project is a consortium that with the main objective of building a novel, reconfigurable and multi-purpose ecosystem for agriculture, forestry, and livestock. Our main tools are to develop and validate some technological tools that will address specific problems, and that will be deployed in 3 main pilots in Spain, in Greece, and in Austria. These tools and applications are mainly related to drone or UAV solutions. So the project can be divided in 3 domains. agriculture, which revolves around CO2 sequestration and biomass estimation, and also irrigation and water stress monitoring. Also livestock, where the objective is to analyze the behavior and protect livestock. Also to early detect lameness, as well as on forestry, where the plan is to create a plant health assessment tool and work on selective spraying and also low risk fertilization and forest health protection. The main expected impacts of the project are economic, scientific, and environmental, where the main economic goal is the reduction of costs, mainly on the production side. In the scientific field, we expect innovation, where we present novel tools both on software side and hardware side. And in the environmental aspect, we expect an increase on the protection and the environmental protection, since these proposed tools are expected to be deployed in a safer way and therefore protect our environment in agriculture practices. So moving on to the open call 2. I will start by showing our dissemination video, which compiles most of the information available, and I will move explaining it a bit further afterwards. I would just ask, if you cannot hear the audio, please interrupt.
Chameleon project is launching the second open call for submissions between March 31st and June 30th. The objective is to implement geographically distributed small-scale pilots that demonstrate the impact and potential of the Chameleon approach in the 3 fields of forestry, agriculture, and livestock. Participants in the second open call should present a detailed use case pilot scenario with a primary focus on validating specific bundles developed within the Chameleon project. Applicants will be responsible for defining the area where the bundle will be validated, as well as acquiring the necessary data for the bundle using their own infrastructure and equipment. Once all this data is collected, applicants will use the Chameleon platform to upload the data for processing to evaluate the bundle through the results. Either you are a potential applicant with capacities for data acquisition, or you are an expert in project evaluation in the fields of forestry, agriculture, and livestock. Both your inputs are required. The application's budget will be a total of €300,000 to be distributed among successful applications, with a maximum budget of €60,000 each, lump sum scheme. Each evaluator will be rewarded in line with the European Commission's expert financing system, €450 per workday, maximum 2.5 working days. The sub-project duration will be 6 months from October 2024 to March 2025. The evaluation timeline duration will be 2 months, from July to August 2024. These are the eligibility criteria. Please be sure to read them carefully. This open call welcomes participation from EU member states and countries associated with the Horizon Europe program. Please note that only documents written in English will be considered during the evaluation process. Each applicant has the opportunity to submit up to 2 proposals. However, only 1 proposal per applicant will be selected for funding. For more information, you can visit our website, and if you have any questions, here are our contact options.
Okay, that was the dissemination video created in the beginning of the program. And the first thing and most important I would like to to point out is that the submission date mentioned in the video, of course, was the planned submission date, and it has been now updated to the 14th of July, 2024. Just for clarification. And so, as you could see in the video, we Chameleon are looking for third parties to propose a detailed scenario where you can validate each or a group of Chameleon bundles. These bundles are provided by us, and you are expected to provide the necessary data, meeting the requirements of the specific bundle you are proposing to validate. So what we are expecting is motivated third parties with access to data via drone flights or whatever the needs of a specific bundle are, and to validate them in a specific region with a specific problem. So our main goal is to extend the amount of area covered in our project, and to expand our tools application in new regions and potentially new problems, and with new people working on them that will bring new and different ideas on how to apply these developed solutions. So the bundles are the software tools which are being developed in the project, and they are only the software tool. So they include all the data processing, all the image processing necessary, all the algorithms that are required for each specific problem that the bundle is expected to solve or to help solving. And what we are expecting is that you execute it. We give you access to it, and that you execute it with your own data, and share with us via 3 different deliverables all the results that you gathered from it. So like I mentioned, the open call submission has been extended to the 14th of July. So applications are welcome until then, and those applications are done via the Chameleon website. And also in that website is where you can find all the official information that is relevant to the open call project. Applicants must, when applying, they should submit their proposal and fill in the available submission form, and all of this is available in the website. So like mentioned in the video, each selected applicant will receive up to 60,000 euros in a lump sum scheme, which means that each payment will be unlocked after the delivery and acceptance of each of the 3 deliverables. For the sake of informing all the potential applicants, we included on the website the guide for applicants, where you can find all the detailed information regarding the Open Call 2 program, as well as a template for the proposal, which you should follow when submitting your proposal. We already created some guidelines and some specific topics you must have and you must follow in order to ensure a successful application. So talking more about the bundles, we have compiled the list of available bundles. These bundles developed in Chameleon are the ones that are available for your use and validation, and these are the ones that you should use and mention in your proposal. like you can see in the group section, you can see that some of the bundles have been grouped. So if you are interested in it, you can make a proposal for more than one bundle. So the groups are identified. This table is also available in the guide for applicants, so you can check it later. But as you can see, some of the bundles, like these three, it's group 1 and group 2 and group 3, are bundles that can be accepted in the same proposal. Now, the main development that we would like to share with you is that all the bundle information is now available on the Drone Innovation platform. This platform has been developed in the Chameleon, is in the process of developing, of being developed, and we now have a public place for it. And you can visit it through this link. I will also share with you the link in the chat, and it will be disseminated in all our social media and website. But mainly, what we would like to pass to you is that the Drone Innovation platform should be the main source of info for the bundles on your proposal, because it includes the most up-to-date info regarding all the Chameleon bundles. So it is the most, let's say, trustworthy source of information. For each bundle, like you can see in the image, you will find a collection of information about each bundle. So you will have a description where you can check all the functionalities and all the details of the specific bundle. You have a characterization of its inputs and outputs in this table, where you can understand better the input requirements and as well as the output expectations. Also, you have a preview of the data in the media gallery. You can see in a bit of detail what types of image are processed and some of the middle steps of the bundle execution. And also in the notes section, you can check all the requirements that have been identified by the bundle developers. So I will now just do a quick live demo of the DIP, because I believe it is the best way to actually explain this. So I will just stop sharing and share the other screen. Okay, so you can see my screen, right? The Drone Innovation platform. Okay, perfect. So this is the home page. This is where you land when you click the link we are sharing. Just to clarify, no registration is needed for consulting the bundle information. That is very important. So no worries if you don't have an account. It is not available to the public yet. So if you go to the bundle section or you click in this banner, you will land in the bundles page, and right here you can see all the available all the public bundles. So these are all the bundles that have been and are being developed in the Chameleon project. So whenever you feel the need to know more about one of these bundles, you should just come here, click it, and you have access to the specific bundle page. Like I mentioned, you have like a short summary. You have all the tags that that classify and characterize each bundle. You can see the description, where you can see more in detail the information of each bundle. You have the characterization of the inputs, outputs, all the results that have been identified by the bundle developer. as well as the media gallery, where you can see some relevant pictures of the bundle execution. And finally, you have the requirements. This may be very useful in order to understand how you can validate the proposed bundle. So in here you can see all the requirements divided in specific fields. So for example, for this specific bundle, you have sensor requirements. You can see all the requirements of the sensor you must use in order to have the correct inputs for the bundle. You have the flight requirements, where you have all the details of the drone flight or UAV flight you must do to collect the input data. All the data requirements more related to the format and the type of images that are required, as well as some validation requirements. So in here you have a glimpse of what is expected as the indicator of the validation. So it may be a specific characteristic that is identified for a specific agriculture, livestock, or forestry problem. So in here you can have a better understanding of the specific requirements for the validation you are proposing to do. Okay, let me just go back to the presentation. Okay, you can see it, right? Okay. The other thing is really important to mention is that the frequently asked questions document has been frequently updated in the website with all the questions that we have been receiving. So if you have any question after this event, of course, in here we are expecting to answer your questions here. But if you have further in the future, if you have any further question, make sure you check this document first, because your answer may be there. And if you can find it there, we are more than happy to help you via the contact points that we have provided, and you can also see on the website. So just further info, you can see the promotional video is available on this YouTube link. I will also share this link with you. And just to say it again and to make it clear, all the official info is provided in the Chameleon website. So this should be your go-to place for Open Call 2 information. So thank you for your time. Now I will open up for some questions that you may have, and the three of us may have answers too.
Thank you, Miguel. That was really interesting. My name's Chris. I'm from Low Altitude in the UK.
Hi, Chris.
Hi. I've got a couple of questions. The first one, when you took us through that slide deck, there was a reference to a rate of 450 euros per day. It looked like there was something about 450 euros times 2.5 days. What is that discussing? What's that pointing out?
Okay. It's actually a very important question. The dissemination video also includes the call for experts. So and also for clarification, all the received proposals will be evaluated by external people. So for the sake of transparency, we will hire external evaluators to evaluate the proposals and rank them, and we will do the selection process based on their evaluation. Of course, the criteria is defined together with the open call, but the evaluation itself is done by external people, not related to the Chameleon project at all. So that specific slide is related to the payment to those experts and not to
I
the
see.
beneficiaries.
Brilliant. Thank you. Okay, that makes sense. And the second question that I have is, so we as a company are particularly interested in bundle BC8 and BC9 because we operate almost exclusively in vineyards ourselves.
Okay.
And the question related to the data collection. So, I mean, looking at what data you're potentially after, we should be out there collecting that data now. But why would we as a company, why would any applicant start flying data according to the requirements of the bundle before we've been selected as a successful applicant? It seems a bit around sort of like chicken before egg almost. We wouldn't collect data under your requirements until we were a successful applicant, and I'm pretty sure that would go for everybody on here. How is that? Can you talk us through that a bit, please?
Okay. I think I can answer that. I don't know if Susanna or Christiana would like to add something, but I think the first thing I can say is that when you submit your proposal, of course I understand that the start working on data you actually are not still you don't still have access to the bundle is a question. What we think is that you must make it as clear as possible in the proposal what you have, what data you have, or what data you are planning to collect. That will be the basis of our evaluation. So you should make it as clear as possible that you will have this data during the during the project duration, and that data will be used to validate the specific bundle. So we hope that these requirements that we are sharing with you now are sufficient. If not, we will gladly extend them and reach out to the developers and try to understand with all of you how we can clarify it. But
Yeah, because you seem to be saying, thank you for that, that you drop in the note in the chat there. So we're saying, and I agree with it, that the data should be collected between May and July, which is now, but the data is to be collected according to your specific bundle requirements, as you've just shown on the bundle example, certain overlaps and et cetera, that's fine. If that's specific to the bundle requirements, but why would we go and collect that data and spend that time in the vineyard if we're not a successful applicant? We're effectively doing work for the project without even knowing if we are actually successful to receive the grant to do the project. Does that clear? Maybe I'm misreading it.
Chris, allow me to interrupt. Your question is valid. We have received this question many times. It's actually a problem that we've been facing and we're considering how to solve. Unfortunately, due to the time constraints of the project, we couldn't start Open Call 2 earlier, and we couldn't have it next year as the project finishes on June 2025. We appreciate the difficulty, and we know that this may be something that will stop applicants from applying for vineyard bundles. So it is indeed limiting, but we couldn't have practically done it in a different way.
Okay. All right.
It's a timing issue of the project, and it's unfortunate. But we couldn't, let's say, start open call 2 next year, and we couldn't start it earlier because we have an open call already running for Chameleon.
So is the suggestion that companies interested in these various bundles go and collect data at risk, as in go out tomorrow and start flying data collection on whatever bundle they're doing, whether they know they're a successful applicant or not?
We're not suggesting any applicants to take that risk. We just expect that some of the applicants that might be going for the Vineyard bundles are already active in this area and probably already have some data that can be used for the open calls in Chameleon.
And we that certainly matches us. We do have data, but whether that data meets the specific bundle requirements is I guess the challenge. But okay, thank you very much. You've answered my question. I don't want to hold the floor too much. Thank you.
Actually, Chris, thank you for your question. That was one of the most asked question and one of the biggest obstacle and for us to handle and see how to deal with. So thank you very much for raising this.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. We may proceed with Diego González Aguilera from University de Salamanca, who will present some of the bundles for you to have an insight of the processing that should be done, for example, so with your data in case you select one of these bundles, okay? But the procedure is similar to the Drone Innovation Platform for all bundles, even when we are just showing a couple of them. So thank you, Diego.
Thank you, Susana. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. Thank you to Miguel and Cristiana for the presentation and for the feedback provided to the audience. Our idea is to move to the action today. To be clear, the idea is to try to demonstrate on live. So apologies if some of the bundles are not running properly because we are doing the demo in real time. The idea is to demonstrate the connection with the drone innovation platform that Miguel was presenting with the decision support system that we are going to integrate in Chameleon for solving the problems that the rural area is facing in the different pillars, the livestock, the forestry, and the agriculture. So I am going to share with you my screen. Okay, so first of all, we created this access to the, let's say, decision support system. Let me log in. Okay, Okay, so first of all, this is the connection with the drone innovation platform in the way Miguel was explaining. So if you remember the presentation that Miguel was doing, we need to select the dataset, we need to select the bundles. So in this case, we are going to demonstrate in real time some of the bundles, some of the results that are going to be executed not only in the front end but also in the back end. And all these bundles, as you can see in the screen, includes applications that are claiming from the rural areas related with the forestry, related with the livestock, and also related with the agriculture. So in our demo today, we are going to demonstrate some of them related with the forestry, rivers as well, and livestock. And the way to demonstrate is to, let's say, getting access to the different bundles, to the different products that we can provide. So here, for instance, we are going to demonstrate one of the bundles focused on vegetation monitoring and census. That means that we need to analyze in detail the forest areas in order to provide some information that the end users are claiming for. So my first explanation is going to be focused on the structure of this decision support system. So on the right, you can see the product calendar. This is pretty important because, as you can imagine, forestry, agriculture, and livestock requires to analyze problems through time. So to this end, we need to integrate a calendar where the different products, not only geospatial product based on satellites, but also, for instance, images coming from drones or different cartographic products coming from drones are integrated with these colors, with this legend. We can select the different dates through time. And together with this product calendar, we are including also some, let's say, cartographic based information that we consider very relevant. For instance, we are including some open data coming from different data sets. For instance, OpenStreetMap is included in all the bundles as base layer, but last but not least, we are including also very high resolution imagery based on planet, for instance, so we can select through time along the years the different planet imagery that we want to visualize. And as you can imagine, the other, let's say, transversal architecture that we are integrating in this front end part of the WebGIS is the Google Earth Engine. It is the capability for analyzing different indices, different parameters that we consider relevant in some of the bundles. Okay, so I am going to show you the capabilities of this first bundle, vegetation monitoring and census, loading one of the projects. For instance, we can select one of these projects. As you can imagine, the WebGIS go directly to the area where the algorithm is extracting the trees, the information of the tiled forest mapping using some algorithms that are executed in the backend. In particular, we are taking several input data. So here we can see the possibility to run the bundle, but also to, let's say, to add the different input data that we are going to need for this bundle. As you can see, we are going to use drones flight using different sensors, for instance, LiDAR or photogrammetry. It doesn't matter the difference. The only difference is that if we use in LiDAR, we are going to obtain the point cloud in real time, together with several multispectral information. So here is more or less the result of one of the algorithms for the vegetation monitoring and census. So we can display the different parameters associated with each tree. Also, we can visualize the area in 3D with some parameters, in this case, that are relevant for, let's say, wildfire propagation or whatever aspect. So this is another algorithm that we are executing in the backend to clusterize the different trees, the different collection of elements. And as the last step in this bundle, and considering the feedback that the end user were claiming for, we are including the generation of a report. So we can execute in real time the generation of a report of this vegetation monitoring and census. We can even download the report. As you can see here, this is the report that we are obtaining. We can see here the date. We can see here the let's say the picture that we are integrating in the report related with the number of trees. If the area that we are analyzing consider different types of trees, for sure that the algorithm is going to differentiate each tree and is going to provide this classification. So we can see here also some statistics, some analysis of the indices. So this is more or less the possibility to, let's say, to analyze in detail the forest area with this first bundle, with this vegetation and monitoring and census. And the most important thing is that the decision support system is ready for upload the information, so we can create a project, we can upload the input data required for running the algorithms, and the decision support system is also ready for executing the bundle. As you can see with this icon, we can run the vegetation and monitoring and census algorithms for executing these capabilities for analyzing the detailed forest mapping. Okay, so this is the first bundle. So coming back to the dashboard of the decision support system, another very interesting bundle is the hotspot identification at the beginning of wildfires. So in this case, Chameleon wants to provide an early warning system using, in this case, satellite, but also we want to integrate drones information. But the demonstration at the moment is based on satellite. So here we can see, let's say, the current hotspot that the satellite is providing using, as you can see here in the layer control, the firm's API, let's say, configuration. We can integrate also in this hotspot analysis the infrastructures, the green infrastructure. This is a layer that Copernicus Land Services is providing for, let's say, reinforce the information related with hotspot. This is something that the end user also were suggesting, the impossibility to include the green infrastructures together with the protected areas. And another thing that we were integrating and we were, let's say, displaying in this decision support system is the capability of analyzing the fires, the wildfires. Again, I am going to show you a project, a demo project. This represents a big wildfire that took place several years ago in Avila, in the center of Spain. For those that are from abroad, this wildfire was very, very big. In fact, it was one of the biggest wildfires that Avila suffered through time. And here we can see the different options that we can display. For instance, we can analyze the possibility to animate the evolution of the wildfire. This is something important in order to see how the fire was propagating through time. This is something that we can run in the back end, this type of animation, so we can analyze the evolution through time of the wildfire. Of course, that the system is ready for selecting a time interval in the calendar and running the different algorithms to search for different hotspots in different locations. But in this case, we want to demonstrate the capabilities of this wildfire in this demo site. Another possibility is let's say, to get the hotspot map. This represent let's say, the areas where we suffer the fire. So we are able to analyze with different indices the area that was burned during the wildfire. We can integrate this information with cadastral information. That means the parcels, the different parcels and sub-parcels involved in the wildfire. So we can generate a report that is going to relate, in this case, the wildfire results. So this is pretty important, as you can imagine, for the end user and in particular for the administration. So again, here on the right, we can generate a report. We can produce this report in this way. And this is the results, for instance, of this report. So here we can see the report resulting from this hotspot detection. So we can see here the area affected, the different, let's say, type of soils, different graphics representing the different indices, the vegetation index, the index that is related directly with the burned area. And yeah, different graphics, different statistics that always are important for analyzing the consequences of the wildfire in this area. So this is more or less the demonstration of the bundle of the wildfires. So again, if we come back to the dashboard, we can continue with the next bundles. For instance, this is another bundle that was very demanded in the forest area. This was a bundle that allow us to run different possibilities. First of all, we developed a script in the backend that allow us to vectorize those areas that are named as wild land urban interface. As you can imagine, this wild land urban interface are areas related with the perimeter around the urban areas. So for instance, if we move on to one of these areas, in one of the municipalities, the algorithms in an automatic way provide the perimeter with this color around the municipality. But the most important thing is the possibility to analyze in real time, through time, using the calendar, using the information coming from the drones, coming from the satellite, how is the state of the vegetation along this wild land urban interface. So if we click in this button, we can, let's say, select a range of dates, and we can even let's say, to click in a point. For instance, we can select a range of dates in May, and we can click in a point here, and we can, let's say, generate for this wild land urban interface information that are pretty relevant for the end users, that represent the vegetation indices, that represent the moistures. So we can compute those parameters that we consider very relevant for analyzing the risk of this perimeter along the municipality. So this is of paramount importance in the wildfires, because you can imagine the sixth generation fires are affecting often more urban areas, and this is one of the main concerns of the firefighters and the administration, to, let's say, to prioritize those areas that should be cleaned or maintained in the right way. So with this tool, we are able to generate a report. So we can generate this report pushing this button, and we can provide the information for this wildland urban interface in real time. So we can even provide, as you can see here, information that it's pretty relevant, because we are transforming the perimeter of the municipality and the different scientific indices that we are using based on vegetation, based on moisture. We can transform in, let's say, traffic colors, red for the high risk areas, yellow for the medium risk areas, and green for the low risk areas. That means that we are going to provide the end user with a report very useful for prioritizing those areas that should be cleaned, that should be maintained with more efficient means, because as you can imagine, the means that the administration has available are limited in the way that the human resources are limited, and also the instruments, are the technical instruments that they are using in the fires are also limited. So this is pretty important for, let's say, analyzing these capabilities. So another, let's say, useful information that we can provide in this decision support system is the possibility to analyze other type of indices. So we can select again in the calendar a range of dates. We can select all these indices, for instance, and we can add a point in whatever part of the wildland urban interface, and we can run the algorithms for computing not only the indices, but also to provide the graphics. So now we are, let's say, computing the algorithms in real time in order to show more indices, not only the moisture, not only the vegetation, because as you can imagine, in order to prioritize and to establish the risks of this wildland urban interface, we believe that the different indices beyond the moisture and the vegetation are fundamental, are very useful. So we can see here the graphic, we can see here the different indices that are resulting for the analysis in real time. So this is something for sure that are very, very useful in this bundle related with the wild land urban interface. So if we come back to other bundles, in this case focus on a different aspect that is related with the rivers, that it is related with the woody debris, that is the rubbish or let's say the organical residuals that are in the rivers. The idea in Chameleon was to provide an approach that allow us to exploit the drones, to exploit the capabilities of artificial intelligence for detecting the different residuals along the river. So again, for instance, we are going to upload one of the pilot areas, in this case focus on the Hooker River. So here I try to explain the complexity of this bundle because it is important to be understood. First of all, we need drones. This is mandatory because with the satellite we are not able to, let's say, to detect the different residuals. The size of the residuals sometimes is below the resolution of the public satellites. So in this case, we need a drone, we need a specific sensor, and we need to generate a specific cartographic product. So here we can see in the layer control, we can, let's say, load the orthophoto that we are generating with photogrammetry using drones. So the main goal here is to run different algorithms based on artificial intelligence for detecting and geolocating the residuals. But this is not only the goal. The goal is also to classify, to categorize the residuals according to the risk. So in the backend, we are running here some algorithms that are providing this output, that is the severity of the different residuals, the different woody debris detected along the river. So we can select those that we want to analyze, for instance, this one. So the decision support system provides, provide in an automatic way the information related with the residual detected, the severity, and the area of the residuals, the ratio. The ratio is computed considering the width of the river. So we are analyzing also the residual considering the width of the river in order to categorize the risk of the woody debris. And yeah, the most important thing is the possibility to run in the backend for instance, in those applicants that want to submit a proposal for the second open call based on different areas and different rivers, the possibility to run these algorithms for detecting these residuals, the woody debris along the river. So again, as it is something common and transversal in all the bundles, we were able to provide a report. So we can generate this report in real time. We can, let's say, download the report in order to see what are the residual, what are the risks, what are the geolocation. So imagine the end user, in this case the confederation, that are the owners of these rivers, in order to provide this capability for the maintenance of the river. This type of information is pretty useful. You can see here the report generated today at the moment. We can see the different risk classification for the woody debris with the different categories, the different, let's say, risk levels, the geolocation of the woody debris along the river, differentiating the different type of risks, and different details in general with the coordinates that are pretty important for the administration in order to accomplish the cleaning operation. Imagine the efficiency that the administration is gaining with this tool and with this bundle for performing those cleaning and maintenance operation along the river. This is something to be highlighted. And last but not least, we can move on to the last bundle that is, in this case, in the decision support system, we can demonstrate. This is related with the livestock, with providing the health and stress level of the livestock. So at the moment, this is one of the bundles that is under work. So we are working on different hardware and software components. So it is important to highlight that this bundle is not directly related with drones, but in some way the output can be connected with some drone services, because imagine that if we detect, let's say, a warning in the health state of the cows, or in the health state of whatever livestock, we can order a drone flight in order to surveillance, or in order to check if the cows or the pigs or whatever, it is good or not. So please open your mind in order to consider this output as a potential connection also with the drone innovation platform. So in this case, we are going to provide information selecting different colors that we developed, so we can display in real time information related with the, let's say, the health status of the cows. So for instance, we can display, we can approach to this area in order to see the location of the different cows. So here, for instance, I think that we can see, let's say, developed a prototype of collar that we put in the cows. The collar integrates the different sensors, but in particular we are integrating accelerometers and we are integrating GPS. The GPS, as you can imagine, provide the geolocation. It is pretty important in order to know what is the position of the cow. So from the decision support system, we can get the position with this button. We can provide the end user with the position of the cow. But the most important thing is that we can, let's say, provide the possibility to work with virtual fence. That means that controlling the cows in different parcels in a virtual way, because we know perfectly the geolocation of the cow, and we, let's say, communicate with the collar in order to, let's say, to control the movements of the cows and to establishing, let's say, rotating periods in the livestock. That is crucial for being more efficient in the livestock and in the grass maintenance and so on. So we can see here the position of the cow. We can see here we can access to the different parameters. I don't know at the moment if we can see some graphics, but the most important thing is that with the accelerometers we are classifying the different levels of activity. We can also let's say, count the number of steps in order to see if the cow is very active or not, even if the cow is dead. And we need to let's say, to send a warning to to the farmer in order to communicate that the cow is dead. We want also to make progress in the measurement of the level of stress of the cow. In particular, in Avila, the cows and the livestock is suffering a lot the wolves attacks, and this is crucial sometimes. So it is important to have the possibility to measure the level of stress of the cow, to report this stress to the farmer, and to see what is happening in, let's say, in the cow. So here we can see some graphics of activity, in this case associated to this collar number 4 that is allocated in one of these cows. So we can see the level of activity, the numbers of steps, so different parameters that, as I was saying, we are working with now. This bundle is on progress, to be honest. And the idea is also to generate a report once we can provide this. So the report at the moment is not ready, but we can provide an idea of what is this report about. So the idea is to show again with graphics the activity, let's say, to provide some alerts that are important for the farmer. The summary of the activity today, in the last week, even to provide some heat map related with the movement of the livestock. This is pretty important for the farmer to know what are the areas, let's say, most visited by the livestock. And as I was saying, associated to the virtual fence, it is the possibility to rotate the livestock and to move the cows to other areas to consume the grass and to provide let's say, a better maintenance of the soil. This is also very, very useful. And yeah, this is more or less the possibilities provided with the reports. So we can have access to this information, to, let's say, to the different position, and yeah, this is more or less the idea under this bundle related with the livestock. And this is all, Susana, Miguel, and Cristiana, from my side. I prefer to leave the floor for those partners that want to ask something related with these bundles, and we are happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, Diego. Are there any questions from the audience? Any curiosity or issue that we can solve in the webinar regarding the use of the bundles and the processing that is going to be performed with the data that you provide, and then the results that are going to be obtained should be validated?
I think that was pretty clear, and I think it looks like a really capable platform. So thank you very much for demonstrating that. I'm very interested in that vegetation monitoring. I'm doing something in the UK along the lines of LiDAR, use of LiDAR in the vineyard, measuring the biomass and trying to relate that to yield. So I think there's some crossover there that might be quite interesting. But yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, the idea is to, let's say, to connect this, let's say, market platform that the drone innovation platform represent, and to have the opportunity with the open calls to increase the offer. The first step in the open calls one is related with developing more bundles. That means new capabilities for solving different problems in agriculture, in livestock, in forestry. And this second open call is focused for providing more data set for running these algorithms. So I think that thanks to these two open calls, for sure that the drone innovation platform, the decision support system, are going to increase the power, and as a result, I think that Chameleon is going to demonstrate the society, but in particular the rural areas, that this is a new way and a new approach for, let's say, at least in Spain, for improving and for empowering the rural areas.
That's right. This is the main objective of Chameleon, and what we are looking for is the validation of the bundles. Any more questions from the audience? Okay. So I don't know, Miguel, Cristiana, if you want to say anything, any remarks that are left from our side?
Yeah, from my side, I think it's everything. Thanks again for this, for the organization, and I don't know if there are no further questions. Well, from me there are none.
Thank you, Miguel.
Susana, same from my side. Thank you for organizing the webinar today. Just to remind everyone that the new deadline for submission for applications is 14th of July. If you still have any questions after this webinar, please to get in touch with us, and we'll do our best to answer your questions in the best way. Thank you very much.
Exactly. I was going to conclude with that. Remind that the deadline is 14th of July, 20, yeah, at 11:59 at night in a CEST time zone. Okay, this is important. Pay attention to the time zone, especially those that are in different time zones to Spain, for example. Okay, and we look forward to your submissions, and of course, we are at your disposal, at your availability if any questions arise further than this webinar. Okay. Thank you, Diego and Miguel, for your presentations. Thank you, Cristiana, for your intervention. And thank you all for your attendance to this webinar. Keep in touch during this period of project submissions.
Thank you, guys. That was very helpful.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye. Bye.